The Roommate was really bad. The Roommate. Oh my god. This movie sucked. Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing not a movie commentary, reaction, rant. We're going to be doing a movie review, negative review, because I just saw The Roommate and there are some issues that we have to discuss with this movie. Okay, so let's get into it. So if you guys have never heard of The Roommate, it is this psychological thriller movie. It's labeled under that in Wikipedia as a psychological thriller movie. And this movie takes place in Los Angeles, I want to say it takes place in Los Angeles. Not really sure. I don't think it really matters though, because the movie was so bad, so we don't even need to talk about the setting. But the movie takes place in Los Angeles, and this girl named Sarah, she is a college freshman, and she really wants to get into she's a fashion major basically, and she loves fashion. She loves fashion. She'll do anything for fashion basically. And she meets her roommate. It's like her first day of college. She's in her dorm room. Her roommate never shows up, and she goes to a party one night. She comes back from the party, and basically she's drunk and she trips over the roommate's luggage, and the roommate introduces herself as Rebecca. Now Rebecca she seems normal at first, but as usual, because it's a psychological thriller film, she's not normal. It's a very cliche movie. It was so bad that it's funny. Like, that's how bad this movie is. This movie sucks. Okay, but let's go back. So I started to watch this movie on Thursday night. It's on Netflix if you guys want to watch it. If you guys want to suffer through and waste an hour and a half of your life, waste 90 minutes of your life, go watch this movie. It's on Netflix. It just premiered on Netflix last week. I decided to watch it last week because I was bored and I had nothing to do. I made the wrong decision by watching the movie. So yeah. The movie sucks. It's made in 2011. It was made in 2011 for a budget of $1 million, and it made $52.5 million at the worldwide box office. So I don't know about that, but we're gonna deal with it. So it made a lot of cash. A really bad movie made a lot of cash. So, that says something. At least people want to go out and see the movie. And the actors get paid and everything. And, yeah. And they did their job. So, I mean, I guess that's a plus if they did their job. But, so, anyway, the movie is so cliche. So the movie opens up. Sarah is in her dorm room. She meets these two girls. I don't even know if she just met them. They never clarify if they had just met, because it seemed like she had just met them because they just stopped at her college dorm and they're like, hey, you want to go to a party? And she was like, yeah, sure. So I don't know, I guess they were friends back in high school. I don't know, the movie never explains it, so whatever with that. So they go to a party. She meets this guy named Steven. They have a thing all of a sudden, 5 minutes into the movie, and it doesn't really matter throughout the whole movie. All they do is hook up and hang out, and they go to dinner, and that's really it. And the roommate gets really jealous of Steven because the roommate, she's kind of a loner and she doesn't have any friends. And overall, she gets obsessed with the main character, Sarah. So Sarah comes back from this party. She trips over the roommate's luggage. The roommate introduces herself as Rebecca, and she basically goes to sleep the next morning, meaning 3 p.m. in the afternoon. She wakes up and Rebecca is there. She gives her like water and like Tylenol and like those pills to like help with the hangover, because Sarah got super drunk the other night. So they go to the college bookstore to get their textbooks and everything. And Sarah has this ex-boyfriend named Jason, who is kind of like a boyfriend, but he's also kind of not. It was like a thing from the past, but he always keeps calling her and he keeps annoying her. So it's basically like an on again, off again thing. And she talks to Rebecca about this, and Rebecca is not having it. She goes, "You should break up with him. Tell him to never call you back ever again." And she said, "Okay, I'll do that." So, so yeah, that happens. And I don't really know what else, because I like blocked this movie out of my mind. I blocked it out of my mind. But basically, Rebecca becomes obsessed with Sarah. She becomes obsessed with Sarah. She keeps calling her. When her and Steven, they go out one night and they have dinner, I think. He's just dropping her off at her dorm room, basically. And Rebecca's like, "I've been calling you a million times. Where have you been? Where have you been?" Meanwhile, she just called her one time and it went to voicemail. So she better calm down. Okay? She better calm down. I think the next day, Sarah got out of her fashion class with this really, like, weird professor who's kind of into his students. But we'll get into that later. So she comes out of her class and she goes, "Hey, how'd you know what time my class got out?" Rebecca gives her a coffee, and then Rebecca says, "Oh, I'm your roommate." And that scene is so funny to me, just because it's like, what? It's just like, how'd you know what time my class got out? She just says, "I'm your roommate." So it's kind of like, it's kind of obvious, but it's also like, that's a really weird answer to give a college roommate, but whatever. And basically, throughout the movie, Rebecca becomes obsessed with Sarah, and she wants to kill all of Sarah's friends to make sure that she doesn't have any bad influences or anything. She doesn't have a bad college experience. She wants to be Sarah's only and one true best friend, basically. And that is what happens. In the movie, one of her friends that she was invited to the party by, Rebecca, she goes into like the shower area of the college dorms where they have where everyone can basically take a shower. Rebecca does this thing where she turns on and off the lights, like she like flickers the lights on and off in the bathroom while one of the girls is taking a shower, and she goes, "Oh my god, what's happening?" And then she steps out of the shower, the girl, and then one of the showers has accidentally turned on, and she just says to the shower, "Bitch," and then she goes back to her shower, the lights turn back on, and then all of a sudden the girl is like tackled to the floor by obviously Rebecca. Rebecca's wearing like a poncho, but I guess like the directors, they don't want you to like, they don't want it to be obvious that it's Rebecca, so they like only like, they only like zoom up like super close to her mouth, and she goes, "You're such a bad influence on her. I'm gonna kill you. This is a threat." And then she has like a belly button ring, so she like tears the belly button ring out of her belly button, and she says, "Nice belly button." And the girl just bleeds from her belly button on the floor, basically. And we never really get resolution on that until she goes to Sarah the next day and she goes, "I'm staying away from her. She's crazy." And then you do a panning shot over to Rebecca, and Rebecca's just like, whatever, I don't care. And also Sarah's sister died like 10 years ago previous to the movie, and she has this one necklace where she doesn't let anyone else touch it. But when Sarah's out of class with her creepy professor who's like hanging around with the students after class, Rebecca wears a necklace, and Sarah, she goes, "Where's my necklace?" And she goes, "Oh," Rebecca's like, "Oh, I didn't know it was your necklace, I'm so sorry." And then she goes, "Can you please not wear this necklace, please?" And she goes, "Yeah, sure, okay." And then her and Rebecca, they start to hang out more. They start to be like friends, kind of. But Sarah does feel like something's up with her, basically. Which I guess is good, because she's actually self-aware of things that are happening around her. And Steven asks her out one night. She says yes, obviously. They go back to Steven's frat house dorm room place thing. I don't know. They do the thing. They bang, and it cuts back to like Rebecca hearing Sarah's phone ring, because Sarah left her phone in the dorm room, and Rebecca, she answers the phone and she goes, "Hello?" And it's Jason, Sarah's ex-boyfriend, calling Rebecca. But he goes, "Oh my god, is this Sarah?" And then Rebecca, she kind of impersonates Sarah. She got him impersonate Sarah. And she doesn't really talk to Jason. She just wants to hear his voice, basically. And she's like, "Do you miss me?" And he's like, "Yeah, I do." And then it cuts, while this phone conversation is happening, it like blurs in and out between Sarah and Steven having sex, and then it blurs back into Rebecca and Jason talking on the phone. And then she goes, "Don't ever call me again." And then he's like, "Sarah, Sarah, Sarah." And then she hangs up the phone. And then the next day, it's like the day before Thanksgiving break, basically. And basically, with this Thanksgiving break, the day before Thanksgiving break, like their final projects are due, Sarah, her creepy professor asks her to stay for a few minutes, and Sarah says, "Yeah, sure." He kisses Sarah on the lips, and that's not good. So she goes to Rebecca. She's super freaked out by it, and because he's married and he has kids and everything, so that means he's a little creep, because he can't be hanging out with students and making out and kissing students. So she goes to Rebecca. Rebecca says, "You can confide in me. I'm always here for you. I'm glad to talk with you about this stuff." And Rebecca, she goes in there one night. She says to the professor, "Oh yeah, I have to drop a class. Is there any way I could take your class for this semester, because I'm really into fashion?" And she records him, because he makes her kiss him, and then she hurts him really badly. She doesn't kill him. She hurts him really badly. And yeah, that's basically it. She has him on recording about him trying to kiss her, and she reports it to the president of the college. Then the next day, Sarah finds out about this, and she's like, "Oh, okay, that's interesting, because there's a new professor and everything that's taking over for the rest of the semester, so we're good. The creepy professor's out of here, we're good." And at the beginning of the movie, kind of at the beginning of the movie, Sarah finds this cat, and the cat ends up being put in the washing machine by Rebecca, because Sarah decides to move out, because Rebecca's being super creepy. And Rebecca goes, "I don't want you to move out. I don't want you to move out." And then she goes, "You know what? You could take care of the cat. I'm moving in with one of my friends off campus." And then she goes, "Okay, okay." She brings the cat to the laundry room. She puts the cat in the washing machine. She kills the cat. Cat's gone. So, yeah. And then she goes, "Oh my god, I killed the cat, I killed the cat, I killed the cat. Oh my god, I killed the cat. I killed the cat. I killed the cat." Like basically, and she's all crying and faking and pretending. And it's just like, how'd the cat die? Or like, how did the cat run out? I think she said like, "I lost the cat," or something, because like the cat ran out of their dorm room, basically. And she goes, "Oh no, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay." And then Rebecca invites Sarah over to Thanksgiving, and Rebecca lives in this big mansion, and she's not close with her parents at all. And then they have Thanksgiving dinner. Her and her dad, they kind of had like this weird creepy talk. And then the next morning, Rebecca's getting changed Rebecca is getting dressed in her room to show Sarah around her area where she used to live. And Rebecca's mom says, has she been taking her medication? And Sarah's like, medication? What? And she goes, oh yeah, she's taking her medication? And she goes, I guess so. She's never said anything about medication, but I guess she is. So then we hang out with Sarah and Rebecca. We bump into this girl where she says to Rebecca, we were never really friends. And then Rebecca gives her the dirtiest look ever. We go back to the dorm room. Sarah moves out of the dorm room because she doesn't like how Rebecca is acting. Rebecca's acting very weird. And she finds the medication that Rebecca was supposed to be on. It's for like bipolar disorder and schizophrenia. So, she knows that this isn't right. So she moves out. I think she moves in with her boyfriend Steven. And the last scene is coming up in the movie after this. Rebecca goes crazy. It cuts to the next scene where Rebecca breaks her jaw with her fist. And she cuts herself with like a razor blade. So she could act like she was beat in an alley or something. So, I mean, that's kind of weird. But whatever. Sarah comes back. She goes, oh my god, what happened? She goes, please don't tell the police. Please don't tell the police. And Sarah goes, okay, I won't tell the police. And then she goes, thank you for not telling the police. And she goes, no problem. And then she has her friend. And then in the final scene, her friend is tied up in her bedroom. And Rebecca, she has a gun. She says to Sarah, I want you to be my only friend. And if we can't be friends, then I'm gonna kill your friends and your boyfriend. She shoots Steven. Sarah and Rebecca, they get into a little fight. They get into a little kerfuffle. And they punch each other's lights out. And it's awesome. And it's badass. And Sarah almost dies. But Rebecca saves her. And Sarah ends up shooting Rebecca in the back. And basically cuts to the next scene after that. It's the next year, it's sophomore year, and Sarah is like, oh my god, I don't want a roommate for a while. And she says to Steven, I don't want a roommate for a while, is that okay? And then he goes, yeah, sure. And she goes, before you leave, can you help me do something? And then he says, yeah. And they drag out the roommate's bed of her dorm room into the hallway so that she can get rid of the bed, so that she won't have a roommate for a while. And I laughed at that scene so much, because that is smart. But that was basically The Roommate. If you guys want to watch The Roommate, watch it. It's on Netflix. It's so bad that it's funny. So if you want to like laugh and have a good time, you can laugh and have a good time. If you don't want to watch it, save yourself the 90 minutes and do something productive with your life. And that was basically The Roommate. I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review rant thing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and like, comment, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.